All right, before we kick things off, a quick warning. There will be spoilers for Joker 2 in today's podcast. Now, you might be wondering why we're glad that this sequel got made, because it serves as the ultimate reminder for future filmmakers of why turning these larger-than-life comic book characters into real people is such a terrible idea. But what do you guys think?
Do y'all guys really think that the movie was that bad?
Yes. It totally is. For me, though, it's like I just think that Joker 2 is part of this long-term trend that began with Chris Nolan's Batman Begins, where Nolan treated Batman with a level of seriousness that we never saw before. But he still understood that Batman and Joker are ultimately larger-than-life comic book characters. And fortunately, many directors that have followed them, they've missed that. They've taken these characters from comic book characters and they've turned them into these serious, gritty, semi-realistic versions of it. And I just think that that's the problem with Joker 2. We saw it with Man of Steel, having Superman become a murderer.
Fire the
Batman
director.
With Zack Snyder, Batman becoming a murderer. And now you look at Joker 2, to me, it is the ultimate example, Cairo, of where this all leads, right? You get a super serious Joker 2 where it's all about courtroom drama and did he kill this person and all this other shit, and he's crazy, he's the Joker, he's not really the Joker. I mean,
okay, did y'all guys like the first one?
The first, but the first one, but that's I'm glad you brought up the first one. I didn't even originally see the first movie originally because it just wasn't appeal. The idea of the Joker being a drama that it has very little to do with Batman, it didn't appeal to me at the time. Now, eventually I went back and saw it, and I said, it's okay, but this is not the direction I ever wanted the Batman franchise to go.
I just don't think that if you cannot come up with a good concept for the Joker on his own, because I don't think he's good on his own. He need that person to go against, like Batman.
Well, it's like it's funny because that's what he was created for, right? He's created to be this great villain of Batman, and yet these new movies, they want to develop him on his own. And
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's on the right road.
I would say that that's fine because look at Penguin, the HBO show that's blowing up. It's being done without Batman, right? It's his own thing, and it's great. It's a great show.
Well, usually villains don't have a movie made out of them. Like imagine them making a movie about Thanos. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't work or nothing, but it don't usually happen.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the first one or the second movie was a terrible movie if you see it as a movie about Arthur and not the Joker. I don't think it's terrible.
I just feel like Joker 2 has essentially stripped all the comic book elements away from all of it, everything. Every comic thing that's comic booky about Joker is gone by the end of the credits of this movie, and that's the problem. Like, if you love the comics that this movie is based off of, you probably don't love this movie.
Yeah, if you look at it more towards that, then it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
The movie is trash. They need to fire that director and fire that horror-ass singing.
Yeah, that was one of my main issues, that they turned into a musical. Like, I didn't understand that part, but...
Well, it's the attempt to try to do something, I guess, slightly different. I mean, I get the idea, right? To try to do something we hadn't seen before. Let's mix a genre that we don't associate with comic book movies, like a musical, in with a comic book movie. So the idea on paper, you can see it working if it was done differently, right? You have this guy who had these mental issues, and he's kind of sometimes in his own head. So you can imagine a scenario where a musical here took place and it actually turned out well. Yeah. It's just the way it's done here, bad singing, songs that had nothing to do with the plot.
It did not. It didn't. Okay, if you were going to see the Joker, everybody know the Joker. I know the Joker as dangerous, playing this trick games, killing people.
Yeah.
If somebody say, "Oh, you want to see Joker 2?" and I have not watched it, I'm like, hell yeah, I want to go see Joker 2.
You want to go see Joker 2?
Yeah, like, but since I see it, and I'm like, this was the Joker? Was this the Joker? Like, I don't know.
Caution, I guess the joke's on you.
Yeah, you're right. The joke was on me. The joke with me spending my goddamn money going to watch that shit.
Caution, you could have gave that to us because you don't pay us at this bar.
Yeah, A couple of dollars. How much were them tickets were? A couple of dollars. You know, it wasn't
way
as
too much for this movie.
It was too much for this movie. Like I told y'all.
But haven't I want to ask? Have y'all also noticed the trend of just this general idea of taking these kind of iconic heroic characters and turning them into gritty characters? Right. We saw it with Man of Steel. Let's have Superman kill Zod. We saw it with Batman. Let's get rid of this stuff that Nolan was doing with the no kill rule with Snyder. Right. He's killing people now. So it just seems like it's going, even in franchises caution that we don't associate with comic book. Star Wars. Luke Skywalker is probably one of the most iconic heroic characters of all time. And yet when you see him again in Last Jedi, he's yet another dark character doing.
Yeah.
Like, this is a trend. I don't understand why can't characters just be the classic, heroic characters they used to be? Why do they have to be gritty? Why do they have to be dark? Why do they have to be morally complex?
I think a lot of directors want to create their own vision instead of going off the strip or the comic books, or they look at a comic book or a strip and say, you know what? I want to change this whole thing and make it my own.
But
I think that's
I want to ask, or do you guys think that there's a limit to that though? Because when you change it so much, I get what Cairo is saying, that you change it, you want to make it your own thing, but at some point it stops becoming anything to do with what you started with.
I think they go too far sometimes.
It's the reason why those comics is there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you write a comic book about this person, I'm going to expect this person to be exactly how you wrote it in the comics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't just say, I want to start over. I don't want my character to be like, well, why the hell did you make him then?
Yeah, that's what
why
it is.
Did you make him?
I mean, Caution, you summed it up. Then why does these movies exist?
And I say on the Joker too, it seemed like the director say, well, he looked at the Joker and said he only want to focus on one element, which is the mental health issues, the mental health disorder of the Joker. Like, he didn't focus on the Joker as entirely with him playing games and tricks and all that stuff.
And the thing about the Joker is that depending on the interpretation, sometimes Joker isn't even portrayed as crazy. Sometimes he's literally just faking it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like even that kind of is a little extreme to me, that they went in the mental health or mental illness direction, because sometimes Joker isn't even portrayed as crazy.
So Kyra, I want to go back and talk about that answer you just the question you say in Joker 2, they didn't want to bring all the other elements in?
Well, it seemed like that's what the director wanted to specifically focus on, the mental health. And I say the first movie did that way better, but they was trying to make it seem like he got a split personality.
Yeah.
This is why he crazy, or this is why he did these things. But
well, what did y'all think about the whole idea of the split personality? That I guess they were trying to imply that
it sucks. It sucks. I didn't get any, man, most of the movie you're singing.
Yeah.
And then it looked like they try to do a plot twist.
Yeah.
Horrible plot twist.
Yeah, at the end where,
And when they blew up that court, spoiler alert, when they blew up that courthouse, I thought Lady Gaga did that.
Yeah,
I thought she did that, and then he goes to a.
I genuinely thought that they were setting it up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And she was going to free him.
Big moment with Harvey Dent, who doesn't he kind of become Two-Face, right? They do a little thing with him, or at least a Two-Face thing. But my point is like you thought that they were setting up for some sort of big escape attempt or something like that.
That's what I thought, because that's what the Joker known for, tricks.
Yeah.
I thought he was doing another trick.
And the Joker doesn't he briefly escape, right? Or
he did. He briefly escaped.
But then they kind of remind you, no, that's not the movie you're getting. So we go back to, the movie we don't like.
Man, the movie was trash, man.
But I'll say this. Like I said before, like, if I'm looking at this movie as the Arthur movie instead of the Joker, then it's a okay movie. Now, he remind me of like a serial killer like Ted Bundy or Charles Manson or something, the way the director wanted to basically portray him. That's why I felt like.
But you say Charles Manson. Yeah, Manson was known for manipulation.
But I felt like I was watching a movie about a psychotic serial killer.
Whereas Joker, I almost feel like he's the one being manipulated most of the time.
Yeah, he was. The cops was whooping his ass.
I know. It's like I feel like he's the one getting. I mean, if he's Charles Manson, wouldn't he be the manipulator? But he's not. He's the one
Man, the cops was the big bullies, bro. The cops. It wasn't the Joker, the so-called claimed Joker. It was not him.
Nah,
you know
it wasn't the Joker.
Beat like Rodney King in these movies.
This was Arthur.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, director, just say this was a big mistake. We're just gonna name the movie Arthur. And look, you can actually make another movie, Arthur Part 2.
But I'm glad y'all brought that up because it just seems like the director Todd Phillips. I mean, he just didn't really. I mean, you get a sense that he really didn't want to make a Joker movie to begin with, right? It almost feels like somebody came up to him, cautioned, and said, "Well, he wants to tell his story about this guy with mental illness problems, but he can't do it without attaching it to a comic book character." And he said, "Okay, Joker, let's attach it to Joker." And I just feel like it almost feel like that's what happened.
And I would, like I say, they spread.
I was gonna say, caution. It's like it just doesn't seem like he's interested in the comic books. He does not want to have this Joker blow up, the court and then go run around with Harley Quinn and be this kind of iconic villain.
That's what we know the Joker to be.
He doesn't want that. He's not. He's rejecting it, and that's the problem.
That's why. Okay, the problem. That's why 80% of your people left. They did not want to see your movie. That's why you didn't get your sales.
But see, one of my only issues is the people that love Joker 1 and then they end up hating this movie. To me, it's like it's the same damn movie. I feel like he kept focused, besides the musical thing, he kept focused to what the original Joker 1 was. Now, if you didn't like Joker 1, yeah, you ain't gonna like damn Joker 2, which I didn't like. I thought it was, both of them were just okay to me. I didn't think it was terrible, it was just okay.
I didn't watch Joker 1, and I think I'm happy that I didn't watch Joker 1.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
I think I'm happy that I didn't watch Joker 1.
But I would say the first one was a little bit better than the second one, though.
But it almost doesn't matter because it's like the moment they hit you, caution with the twist at the end that, he's not the Joker. It almost makes the first movie feel.
He's just Arthur.
Yeah.
It's just not the Joker that I'm used to seeing in Batman.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, this is what Chris Nolan did so well, and this is what I think a lot of directors miss. Yes, Chris Nolan brought a level of seriousness to the franchise, but he still understood that these characters are ultimately they're not real people.
They're comic book characters.
The Joker in The Dark Knight, yes, he's more serious than Jack Nicholson was in the 1989 Batman, but he's still a guy who is doing these incredible things that no human could do, right? He's a terrorist on the ultimate level, right?
That's what I'm saying, man. I just feel like they should have put a little more thought. And was it, like I say, that goes back to who the director was of this? It better not been Jack Snyder.
It's Todd Phillips. Okay. He is the director. Now, you can't blame Snyder for this one.
Yeah. Since DC in the urge to getting new directors, they should have got a new director for this movie.
Well, they didn't want to do that because the first movie shocked everybody. It's like this first movie it cost $55 million to make. It made a lot of money at the box office. It made $1 billion at the box office. So of course you're gonna go. Let's sign Todd Phillips to do a sequel.
How much did they spend on this movie?
$200 million.
Oh my God.
Way more. And the movie only made, caution, 44 million.
Man, they better hope they make that money back.
It's over. They're not making it back.
Oh my God.
You spent $200 million, and that's not even counting the marketing. That's just counting the budget.
That's just the budget.
So it's like in total they spent well over 400, probably upwards about
for promotion. You got
promotion.
Oh my!
For a movie that is made $40 million. Caution. Have you ever seen anything like this where the first movie makes $1 billion, $500 million domestically, and the second movie makes nowhere near that?
Well, I think because after people seen the first movie, nobody ain't want to see the second one.
You think so? You think that's what happened?
I don't think that's what happened.
I think a lot of people.
So you don't think that's what happened, Carson?
I don't think that's what happened.
Because it's like if you watch the first movie, it's no way unless you you ain't gonna want to watch the second one.
The movie was. I think, caution, you may be right about this because the movie was tracking high before the reviews came out. This movie was tracking to do really, really well. There was a hype about it. People were excited, but then the reviews started coming out. The movie in its second weekend fell a record 82%, the largest drop for a DC movie ever. I mean, to put that in perspective, caution, this movie dropped harder than Catwoman, Suicide Squad. I mean, you clearly people are just outright rejecting this movie, and I can understand why, right?
Even the Flash, and I think, well, how much the Flash made?
Yeah, but even Flash didn't drop that hard.
Oh man,
Not even Flash. It's like for the 80. If you're telling me in your second weekend you dropped 82%, that means word of mouth was terrible for Joker 2.
I was one of those we one of those word of mouth now. So man, I just feel like this movie should not have been made. Or it should just be. You can make this movie. They should just call it something else.
I was gonna say, caution is. It goes back to my central point of why I'm actually happy this movie got made. I'm happy it got made because if anything, it just shows future directors the ridiculousness of going in this direction with such a beloved comic book character, right? You know, hopefully they're gonna see this movie and they're gonna go, you know what? I may be considering turning my superhero villain movie into a musical and then pretending that, the main villain has nothing to do with the comic book character.
But you know, what if, let's say this, what if the movie was called something else and the Joker just made an appearance?
That would be fine, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. If it was called Arthur.
If it was called like another movie, it would be fine.
That's what I think it should just been called another movie. I don't think the movie would have flopped as hard if it was another name for this movie.
Yeah, if it wasn't called Joker 2, if you don't have a trailer with Harley Quinn, and you're not promoting it as like a big kind of almost Bonnie and Clyde
and then
sort of story.
And that could have been a good plot for the Joker.
I thought that was. I thought that's what we were getting. I thought based on the trailer, it's like, this you got. Why even cast Lady Gaga? You got Lady Gaga in the movie as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, you got a lot of good actors, a lot of big.
But I'm sitting up here saying it's like, well, what was the point of that? This is not that movie.
If they made $1 billion that first movie, of course they want to do is come around again and make another $1 billion.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I don't find anything wrong with that. I just think the problem is the deal that they signed with Todd Phillips. Remember, in order for them to get him back on to direct Joker 2, he literally has a clause in the contract saying that I get full control. I pretty much am in control over the script. Y'all get no say. We don't even do test screenings. Imagine how amazing that is for them to sign a deal with Todd Phillips saying that Todd Phillips doesn't even allow them to test screen the movie.
So Todd Phillips, it's all the music idea, that's all him.
Yeah. Todd Phillips had complete control here.
And how long he gonna be with DC?
Not beyond this movie.
They probably give him one more chance since that first movie made $1 billion.
Oh nah,
that's done. You don't bomb.
Hang it up.
People are. I mark my words, y'all. It's like people are gonna get fired. There are gonna be some careers ruined. Now I think Lady Gaga and Joker, the actor, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think they did good.
But I think the director, he's gonna be in a world of trouble.
Yeah, go ahead and pack your shit.
He's already taken a lot of the blame for this film, fairly or unfairly. That it's all on his shoulders. So it's like, yeah, that's not gonna, and especially why during the period that they're rebooting the DC franchise, they're not gonna want anything to do with Joker 2, right? They're gonna pretend this movie didn't. They're kind of already doing it.
I don't think they should have made Joker 1.
Well, go ahead and reboot like you did, like you just did.
I think that the Joker 1 was fine. Joker 1 as a standalone movie, it was supposed to be a one-off. Just a one-off, one-shot story about this character, and they moved on. That's what was supposed to happen.
Well, they got money hungry. $1 billion?
Yeah, and it's hard to walk away.
It's hard to walk away from that.
It is.
But had they walked away, they would have at least had something that was kind of divisive. It was a bit controversial, but there were people who liked Joker.
Yeah, it was solid.
The first Joker. So it's like, but they would have had something they could, to this day, still celebrate.
So is this the new Joker? You remember they was trying to find a new Joker, right?
No, this has nothing to do with James. Like the first Joker came out in 2019. That was before James Gunn. So this was like a thing.
Yeah, it's like a new. You know how like the Deadpool don't got nothing to do with the Avengers. He can't go inside the Avengers universe.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I thought this
like
was
that.
the new Joker that's supposed to be. Okay, so he haven't even hit the screen yet.
No.
Yeah, there's been no kind of reboot of the. Now there's gonna be a reboot of the Batman franchise. That's gonna have to be, because the Batman that James Gunn probably wants to introduce, it has nothing to do with these movies.
What if he would have made a Batman movie instead of the Joker too? Because you got Joker 1 and you made a Batman movie.
But didn't they just come out with a Batman movie?
Yeah, the Batman was great. The Batman was a good movie.
Back-to-back movie is crazy.
Yeah.
A Batman.
Who directed it?
That was Matt Reeves, the director of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. War of the Planet of the Apes.
Well,
He's a great director.
Yeah, that might be damn good as hell.
Yeah.
I ain't see it yet.
Batman was really good. It was a really good movie. And the show it's based off of The Penguin on HBO is also really good.
So yeah, hopefully future directors, y'all actually stick to the characters and not go too far and create your own fantasy ideas.
There you go, Cairo. Tell them, man. Tell them.
But to me, that's the heart of it. It's like the problem is like they gave this director so much control to the point where you end up getting something that has nothing to do with the Joker in the comics. It's just a completely different thing. So different to the point where, like you guys said, it shouldn't even have been called Joker. You could call it somewhere.
If somebody made you $1 billion, would you be like, no, you can do everything you want to do with it? Like, you made them $1 billion, so
yeah, and that's what happened. That's how it played out. You made us a lot of money, and like you said, Cairo, they just told him, hey, you can do anything you want. You can go in any direction you want, and he did.
They were like, we work for you now.
I'm gonna make a musical. I'm gonna not have any test screenings. Nobody's gonna test my movie to see if it's good or not.
You should have.
Because had they did those test screenings, they would have realized early this doesn't work. The test screen audiences don't like this. We gotta cut this. It would have been a different movie.
Hey, unless this is something that he wanted to show the world that we missed.
Well, he clearly wanted. That's the thing. Well, Todd Phillips clearly, I don't think wanted to make this sequel. I think he wanted the money. I think he didn't want the studio to interfere with his grand vision, and this was his grand vision. So he said, in order for you guys to get me on this sequel, you got to agree to my terms. Warner Bros. Agreed to those terms, and I bet you they're regretting it.
I wonder what was his issue with test screening? Like,
he did not want, he wanted to have complete control. He did not want to be in a situation where he test screens this movie.
Because they're going to make you change stuff.
People say it's terrible and it's boring.
Yeah, that test audience comes away. I don't like the fact that he's not joking. It's like, and the Warner Bros. Would have got nervous. They would have said, whoa, we're spending $200 million on this movie. They were gonna force Todd Phillips to make some changes.
Yeah, I'll be one of them.
And that probably would have been for the good thing, but he kind of got rid of it. So,
but it would have been as far as for Warner Bros. And frankly for the fans, it would have been a good thing. From Todd Phillips' standpoint, it would have been a bad thing because it would have interfered with his vision, and his vision is the movie you guys just saw.
Warner Bros. Have not been making good movies lately. It just.
But do you think that? You say that, but it's like, have you ever seen a movie fail on this level? Because it's not the difference is a lot of those other movies. Aquaman 2, do we all agree that Aquaman 2 is not and Joker are not on the same level, right?
Yeah, that's
one movie is just your typical generic run of the mill superhero movie that nobody cares about. The other, say what you will about Joker 2. Joker 2 is trying to be something. Now, you may not agree with what it's trying to be, but there is, a message here. And, I think the message should have been, don't do this to the Joker, but,
If I had a choice to go watch one of the three movies again, it will be, let's go ahead and add up these movies. It will be Joker 2. It will be Borderlands. And it'll be that trash fucking Crow movie.
Yeah, the Crow.
Which one would you go watch again if you just?
And I'm gonna be honest, like I said,
the thing
I'll watch the Joker.
I'm the 3 worst movies this year.
I would say it's weird because it's like those other movies. Yes, they're bad, but you can tell that the directors behind them, on the very least, they were trying to get across the thing they were trying to get across. They were trying to get something that they felt was close to the original. Whether it was even Borderlands, it missed the mark, but they were trying to make something that looked like Borderlands.
The Joker was a way better movie than any of those movies. But
wait,
like I said before,
Joker.
Joker 1 and 2. But like I said before,
one maybe two.
I think
that's gonna be a debate
for a comic book character, for the Joker, it don't work. It's a terrible movie. But if you put it as Arthur, then I think.
But even on that level, there's a lot of people.
It's way better than Borderlands.
You got to point out the reason this movie is bombing is not because some comic book fans didn't like it. It's bombing because the average person who don't know a thing about the comics, they may not have even seen the movie. They just walked into a theater and they walked out going, "Did I just see an awful musical? What the world was that?" It's like,
and I would say that's one of the worst parts inside of the movie, about the movie, is the damn music.
Bro, we was watching Dreamgirls.
I wish we were watching Dreamgirls.
No, I wish we were watching Dreamgirls.
Oh, man, dude, they funny as hell.
I wish we were watching singing on that level. We're not watching that level of singing. We're watching the Joker sing badly through most of this movie.
You know, because of singing, I'm finna make a lot of jokes. Color, the movie Color.
Oh, the Color Purple?
Yeah, Color Purple. And what's that Disney Channel movie they used to come out with?
High School Musical?
Not High School Musical. It was another one. The Dessa Raven, the girl she played in it. What is it, Cheetah Girls?
Oh, yeah.
I remember the Cheetah Girls because they kept doing singing all through the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
But the Cheetah Girls
that's what it reminded me of, yo.
The singing in Cheetah Girls are better than this.
It just reminded me of that. Like,
the singing here, and again, I get it. I get what the director is doing, right? He wants him to sing badly as the character. But the problem is it's still bad singing.
I just feel like the singing was unnecessary.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it was cool, like it was okay, but them doing it every 5 and 10 minutes. So it's like, come on, man.
The director had to love opera music. He had to love some type of music.
You say opera, but I didn't hear anything on that level.
Wait, what kind of music? If you can, what would you call that music?
I call it bad singing.
But I don't know. It sounds like some 1950s, 40s type.
And it sounds like his mind's still stuck in 19 whatever it is.
Yeah, I just called it bad singing. I didn't really, there was a few moments here and there where Lady Gaga did something, but she didn't do enough.
She's singing in the mirror.
Yeah,
Lady Gaga, fine like a motherfucker.
I'm like, okay, you got Lady Gaga in here. I would think she'd be doing the big singing notes, but she's not doing much. So she's barely in this movie.
She was what was one of the better parts of this movie,
and she wasn't in it nearly enough.
Yeah, I thought the overall casting was pretty good. I just think the writing and direction of it wasn't as great.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't think that you have people online blaming the actors. I don't blame the actors as so much. I blame ultimately the story these actors are part of.
You only can't do what you give them.
Like I say, it just seemed like they just the director just did not care about. I just don't think he wanted to make this sequel. I feel like when you go back and look at those first interviews for that first movie, he pretty much said, "I just wanted to tell this one story." He told the story, and then as you guys said, it made $1 billion, and Warner Bros. Got greedy, and they said, "Let's get him back in to do a second one."
They say it's probably what's in his contract. He was obligated, maybe.
Well, he wasn't obligated. It was like, because that's why he had all that power, because they didn't have a contract for him. It was supposed to be a one-shot deal.
Because I was thinking maybe he was like, okay, I'm going to make sure y'all don't call me back. I'm about to make...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Worst movie ever. Y'all ain't going to call me again.
You walk away from this movie at... Cairo, you nailed it. You can tell at the end of this, he clearly didn't want to call again.
He didn't want to call back.
He did not, and he's got it. He's got it. Todd Phillips, you're not calling him for no DC nothing after the
man.
Now I won't call him for DC, but I'll call him for a regular movie. Just don't have no characters, Batman, Joker, lead them out of your story.
Todd Phillips, I don't know what it is about him. He's done this where he'll make one great movie. Like when it comes to starting the franchise, The Hangover, right? The first Hangover.
He did The Hangover.
He did The Hangover. And then we know what happened to the sequels.
Yeah, I liked the first one.
The second one was trash.
Exactly. And he did the same thing here. It's like, oh, you like the Joker. And then the sequels.
I feel like on both of those, I feel like it had more good scenes on the first one. It had that one scene, the courtroom scene of him running, and I just feel like it wasn't enough good scenes.
It's like he can't continue his success. He can't continue.
He totally can't. It's like he's one of those directors where you can tell they're great at the initial idea, first movie phase, but when it comes to try to milk it or make a franchise off of it,
can't do it.
He can't. He's not the director you want for that sort of. And unfortunately, Warner Bros. They knew that going in. right? They knew going in that's what this was gonna be. They like I said, they didn't sign him for like multiple deal contract. They signed him for one movie. And then after the movie did well, they turned around and said, well, okay, well, we're going to give you a bigger budget. I mean, that's the crazy part. The first movie was $55 million, and Joker 2 is $200 million.
That's too much.
Did y'all see, when y'all were watching the movie, did y'all see anything in the movie that was $200 million?
Hell
Lady
no.
Gaga. I seen Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga, yeah.
Lady Gaga didn't get no $200 million.
But my thing is,
I guarantee he paid about $300 million to get her ass on there.
I don't see why they increased the budget, because the first movie and the second movie looked the damn same. Like, I don't see nothing.
Well, didn't they shoot the movie in like New York or California? Where did they shoot the movie? Didn't they shoot the movie like in a real? That's what drove the budget up so much.
Then the first movie, it seemed like they shot in New York, but it could have been another place, I guess.
Yeah, but the first movie was relatively cheap. Like at 50, I mean, how do you go from $55 million from the first movie to
$200 million?
Almost $200 million. That's a massive.
If they would have kept
$150,000,
maybe
$150 million.
Maybe it was the music that drove
about
it up.
Caution is like in the first movie, like say you made $1 billion off of $55 million, and now you've bombed because you can't even collect the $200 million you spent on this. So it's like
you said the second one made $40 million.
Yes,
imagine
it made $37 million in its opening week.
If they would have kept that same budget, they at least would have.
They would have broke even.
Damn, they broke even.
We would. What the conversation would be having is like, yeah, the movie's not gonna do well, but hey, it was only such and such amount of money.
We lost 10. We lost 10.
Yeah, that would have been fine. But this is $200 million, and the thing that gets me is that. Again, that was hype for the movie. It was one of the most anticipated movies of this year.
Well, let's
track into $100 million. But when that word of mouth got out that what this movie was gonna be, that killed it.
Well, let's hope it do good in the streaming platform and
it won't get
digital.
good there either.
Because right now, I didn't like it.
But like I said, but just to bring it back to the central point is like that is part of the reason why I'm happy the movie is made, because it is there for everybody to see what happens when a director decides to go in this direction with a beloved comic book character. And hopefully future filmmakers will avoid this mistake. Because now we're going to have Joker 2 be the example going forward that everybody, I don't care if you're with Marvel, I don't care if you're with DC, everybody's going to look at Joker 2 and go, that's what happened when we went that far away from why people love this comic book character in the first place.
Right.
That's what happened, and this is the result. The biggest box office bomb in history. The biggest box office bomb for DC in history. This is a disaster. Caution and Cairo, and it's going to change the movie industry. I'm wondering, like, what movies is going to be canceled or second guessed because of the way this movie performed.
It only performed horribly because like you say, he ain't want nobody to test his movie.
No, because they did the test. I suspect that test would have shown what we're all experiencing now. You should have called it the Arthur movie, and you don't market this to me as some Joker too.
Yeah, call it Arthur, Jerry, John.
Yeah,
just not the Joker.
Yeah, this is not the Joker. I know the Joker as playing tricks and killing people.
Well, they say that in the movie itself. They saying the main character Arthur says, "I'm not the Joker. I'm Arthur."
Yeah, but you said it in a way that we just think you just trying to get off.
Yeah, he's trying to get off.
You know what I'm saying?
But then it's revealed, oh no, he's telling the truth. You wasted your time with these two movies. He's not really the Joker. He's just some random guy that got killed, and the real Joker shows up at the end of the movie, and you just wasted your time.
Yeah.
Basically.
You wasted 2 hours and 18 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
And my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Wasted money.
You wasted my money. You know how hard it is in this economy?
Yeah, for real.
But it's just crazy to show that he didn't want no test screening. To me, that's just wild.
Well,
it just seemed like he did it on purpose.
It's just like he didn't want nobody to call him out. Like he said, trust me, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I make great movies.
Who the hell he think the guy that made Avatar, what's his name? What his director name is that?
Talking about James Cameron?
James Cameron. He think he James Cameron?
But how
he
can
ain't James Cameron.
but how can you question him when he just made you $1 billion?
And that's the problem. That what you just said is the issue. They went in with the exact same mindset. How can we question this guy, Caution? He's made us all his money.
Yeah.
I would have questioned him. If I'm spending $200 million, I would have questioned him.
But you should have already had background on him. Look at what he did. Hangover.
All they
He
was
did
seeing
good
was
right
that,
there. He flopped the rest of them.
Yeah, all they was seeing is dollar signs. This movie made $1 billion.
It was
Let's
money
just
hungry.
kind of greenlit that second movie. Let's do whatever he says. We're gonna stay out the way, and let him make his movie. And he made his movie. And there you go.
What in it is?
But no, I was also gonna say, just to give a bit more context when I say about this kind of current trend. We spoke briefly about part of this didn't start with Todd Phillips. It really did got the ball rolling during the period Zack Snyder took over DC, in the sense that he was pushing, along with a lot of other directors, pushing this kind of new trend for these new superheroes to be darker, to be grittier. And we saw this, I would go as far as back, even before he got to DC, we saw this with Watchmen. Because yes, Watchmen, the comic, was a serious story, but the difference is the comic Watchmen can make fun of those characters. It can be silly at times.
Yeah.
It can be, but then you see how Zack Snyder takes the movie and he strips away the silliness and he takes it seriously. So you already started to see this trend even back then, where the first Watchmen was kind of taking us in this direction where, okay, overly serious superhero that's stripping away the comic bookiness of it.
And for me, I really don't mind the aspect of taking these characters to another direction if it actually works. The problem is it never worked. So.
No, it can work. You can take the characters in a more, we established this with Chris Nolan. You can take the characters in a more serious direction, but not to the point where they stop being the character.
Yeah,
sure. Heath Ledger was in a more serious Joker, but he was still the Joker. This guy, obviously at the end of Joker 2, he's not the Joker.
Yeah, in the Dark Knight it works.
Just Arthur.
Yeah, and that's the issue. You take the whole character away and basically replace him with
nothing.
This fantasy character you have in your head.
Yeah, and that's what happened. It's like you've gotten so far down the road of, these kind of trendy, dark, gritty superhero movies. And like I say, it's not just the problems. Cairo didn't just start with Joker 2. You see it, in Snyder's early work. You see it in Man of Steel with Superman. He has to be this super angry guy. He's now he has to kill the main villain. So you start to see this trend throughout, I would say, modern superhero movies. And I think Joker 2, in my opinion, is the ultimate example of that entire brand of the gritty, realistic superhero movie. And I think that Cairo, it took Joker to the natural conclusion. Like, if you're gonna go in this realistic direction, I will say this: Joker 2 does take it to the conclusion it should go.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, right?
And I want to say again, I didn't hate this movie. I hated it as a Joker movie, but as an Arthur movie, to me it was okay.
Yeah, if you just name it something else, just to say, oh yeah, Joker just
it would
made
be
appearance.
Okay if I was drunk. And I'm a robot and I can't get drunk.
It got the oil up there. You been sipping on that?
Oh wow. Okay, you gonna call me out like that?
But yeah, overall, it's just what y'all find out.
Like I was gonna say, it's like, but that's our opinion. We want to hear what you guys think. Do you think the Joker 2 is a complete disaster, terrible, awful? Do you think it's a masterpiece? Maybe you're one of the few, but let us know in the comments. So we'll.
Also, comment below to see what y'all want us to do next. What type of podcast y'all want to topics y'all want us to talk about next, and like and subscribe. And I'm out.
All right.
Caution.